Welcome back. So, in our last explainer, we drew a straight line from Henrietta Lacks's stolen cells all the way to the data mining that's happening to us every single day. Today, we're making a big shift. We're moving from just pointing out the problem to actually fighting back. We're going to dig into the tools, the ideas, and the mindset we need to take back control of our own bodies and our own data.
And this quote, wow, it just sets the perfect stage, doesn't it? Our goal here isn't just to get angry about the issues. It's to find the words, and more importantly, the strategies, to force real, meaningful change. The performance is over. It's time for action.
I want you to really hold this image in your mind as we go. Think about it. It's a lot like epigenetics, right? Your environment can change how your genes express themselves, but it doesn't change who you fundamentally are. This is a story about our roots, our resilience, and about holding on to our identity even when we've been planted in some really hostile soil.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The fight for our data. To have any chance of reclaiming control, we have to start by completely changing how we think about our rights. And that begins with seeing the clear connection between the exploitation of the past and the data extraction happening right now.
You know, when you put it side by side like this, the parallels are they're impossible to ignore. Back in the 50s, you had biological material taken from a black woman without her consent and turned into a billion-dollar industry. Fast forward to today, and it's our behavioral data, our health records, the very rhythm of our lives being scraped up, anonymized, and fed into AI systems, all without our full understanding and certainly not with our meaningful consent. In both scenarios, the human being is separated from their data, and that data becomes this supposedly neutral object to be bought, sold, and used for profit and control.
And seeing that pattern points us toward a totally new path forward. See, for far too long, the whole debate has been stuck on this idea of ownership, a concept that, frankly, has completely failed us. It's time to upgrade our thinking to something way more powerful: sovereignty.
So this is the legal wall we're up against. In the case of John Moore, his own cancer cells were used to create a patented cell line that was worth a fortune. But the California Supreme Court ruled he had absolutely no property rights to his own tissue once it left his body. Think about that. This one decision basically gave the green light to commercialize our biological selves without us getting any say or benefit.
This slide just illustrates the shift perfectly. On one side, you have the legal framework of ownership, which is basically a court saying, sorry, your cells aren't yours anymore. And on the other, you have this powerful indigenous framework of sovereignty, which sees our biological data not as something to be sold off, but as a sacred loan that demands stewardship and deep respect.
And here's the crucial difference. Sovereignty is not about clicking a little I agree box one time and forgetting about it. No, it's about ongoing power. It's about collective control. It's the right for a community to decide how its data is used, who gets to benefit from it, and to set the rules of engagement from the start. It ensures the data actually serves the people it came from.
And the CARE principles give us a fantastic blueprint for what this looks like in the real world. First, data must be used for the collective good. Second, the community has to have the authority to control it. Third, researchers and companies have a responsibility to act as good stewards. And finally, ethics has to be at the core of every single step. It's a framework built on respect, not on extraction.
Okay, so let's take this idea of sovereignty and apply it to the world of AI. Because to get sovereignty, we first have to understand the sneaky ways it's taken from us, especially by the algorithms that are quietly starting to run our lives.
This concept right here is absolutely critical to understand: ethics dumping. It's what happens when powerful players like big tech companies create ethically shady products or practices and then export them to places with weaker rules or less power to fight back. They just leave individuals and whole communities to clean up the mess. It is a very deliberate shifting of the burden.
And this chart just lays it all out so clearly. It starts with the developers, who hide their own biases in code and call it a neutral black box. Then the people who write the guidelines create these super vague principles. Then the institutions roll out the tech without really thinking through the consequences. And finally, regulators make rules without talking to the people who will be affected. At every single step, the responsibility gets dumped further and further down the line, right onto us.
And this is the PR campaign for ethics dumping. It's when a company puts out a glossy press release about responsible AI and their commitment to fairness, but then they refuse to let anyone actually look under the hood and audit their biased algorithm. They're using the language of ethics as a marketing shield, while the same old extractive stuff keeps happening right behind the curtain.
So look, when you see all these challenges stacked up, it's really easy to feel, well, powerless.
But we are not. There are real, tangible tools being built and actions we can take right now to fight back and demand something better.
One of the most powerful tools we have is the law. Right now, activists and lawmakers are pushing hard for new legislation like an AI Civil Rights Act. And this isn't just about tweaking some code. This is about establishing fundamental bedrock protections against AI-driven discrimination in things that matter: housing, jobs, and healthcare.
This quote from Congresswoman Presley just cuts right to the bone. AI is not being created in some magical, neutral vacuum. It's being built directly on top of our existing, deeply unequal systems. If we don't have a strong pro-civil rights standard from the get-go, this technology is just going to pour gasoline on existing historical harms.
And here they are, 4 clear, actionable things we can demand. Number 1, we have to insist on a human being making the final call on life-altering decisions. Number 2, we need total transparency about what surveillance tech is being used in our communities. Number 3, we have to build and support community-led models for governing data. And number 4, we need to push for laws that actually hold companies accountable when their algorithms cause harm.
We also have to be looking around the corner at what's coming next. The laws we have now against genetic discrimination are a good start, but they might not be enough to protect us from this. Your epigenetic data can show things like your personal history of trauma or if you've been exposed to pollution. Now, just imagine being denied a job or an insurance policy not because of your genes, but because of what your life experiences have literally written onto your biology. This is the next frontier of discrimination, and we have to get ready for it now.
Finally, let's zoom out, because this fight isn't just about playing defense and stopping bad things from happening. It's about imagining and actively building a fundamentally different kind of future, one that isn't just fair, but is actively reparative.
This is the question we should all be asking ourselves. Seriously, what if, instead of using AI to predict crime in neighborhoods that are already over-policed, what if we used it to identify communities that have been systematically starved of resources and investment for decades? How do we flip the entire script and turn these incredibly powerful tools into instruments of healing and equity?
This right here gives us a powerful roadmap for how to get there. It all starts with real, informed consent, the kind people can actually understand. From there, it moves to data sovereignty, giving communities genuine control. It demands that partnerships be built on equity, not on exploitation. And crucially, it requires investing real resources so that communities can build their own ability to use their data for their own good. This is how you build a system that actually serves everybody.
And that brings us right back to where we started. This is a reminder of our own inherent worth, our own resilience. All these systems of data extraction, from the harvesting of Henrietta Lacks' cells to the algorithms of today, they try to convince us that we're just raw material. But our identity, our humanity, that's not defined by the systems that try to box us in. We have deep roots, and the fight for data sovereignty is about remembering that and nourishing those roots, no matter where we've been replanted.